All right, so we're running a little behind today. We have a call here in 11 minutes, so I'll try to be succinct. So now the plan for this week is continue with the reps for the closer. Unfortunately, the deal he won just turned into an escalation. I'm gonna handle it today best I can, and just protect the closer's bandwidth. That way he can focus on getting deals. I probably need to give him a little bit more structure than I've been giving him. I'm just getting him reps. That way he feels good about it. I know I'm trying to do like this Mr. Miyagi thing with him, which is just like not say too much and watch him kind of self-correct because he does have formal training, so that does help. Yeah, and then I'm going to look at the ads today, see if I can increase cost caps just a little bit now that Mother's Day is gone. To get a little bit more throughput here, I need to write ads and launch a new batch. And then, yeah, there's just a lot of stuff to do, and I just don't want to scatter myself too broadly here. So priority number one is saving that deal because a lot of things downstream of that will help, which is like, okay, psychologically for the closer, he feels like his first win was actually a win and we have good stuff and he actually gets paid. So like doing whatever I can there, even if it means like hurting myself in some way, I think I have to do that. Like even just making like a crazy guarantee or something just to kick that can because yeah, as long as he feels like he got a rep in, we got a win, he feels like the dream's possible, like he can hang on to that. But if that goes away and he has a bad week, eesh. So yeah, lots there. Yeah, and then probably just operationalize. So there's a couple big things that are happening in my head. One of which is everybody was like, "Oh, Chase, I wish you could just like show me how to do it for my business," or like, "How do I automate my business?" It kind of just occurred to me in a couple ways. So big end goal thing for me is I'll create a workspace, and I have the seed file for it done, where it's HQ essentially, and every other department or workspace lives underneath that main workspace, and that's what I interface with. And the onboarding sequence for that HQ is walking me through all the stuff of my business. So it's like, what's your tech stack? Like, what type of business do you run? What's your acquisition channel? How many employees do you have? What are your goals? Like all of these different questions. What MCPs are available? What GitHub repos are available? What skills do we need? And it walks you through that process almost like an AI systems architect, where it just does an entire audit of like where you are in the business. And then what it does for me is it'll create seed files that will go to the workspace generator, that the workspace generator then makes a workspace based off of the stuff that we need. So it takes all the MCPs and the connectors and the APIs and the tech stack, and it automates that, puts it into like a routine or something like that. And then now I have an automated department, which is good. And then last level of that is I saw someone using like blueprints for their business or whatever, and it's like cool, but I would make mine actually like an HTML interface that's clickable. So then I could see everything like departmentally across my entire business. And then if I like interacted with it within the preview of Claude Code, I can actually direct the agent to that area to do something. So that's kind of how I'm seeing it, like an AI fulfilled company for me. Now for someone like one of my students, that's just going to be way too complex for them in terms of workspaces. They don't have the workspace generator, by the way, which I'm not going to give them because that's just a wedge. And plus, they wouldn't even know how to wield it. So I think what I'm going to roll out this week, instead of the outbound thing, which I know is a little insane, but this seems like a layup, which is just like an AI systems architect workspace, which is just a derivative of this main idea that I have, which pretty much is like, hi, welcome. And then it's a workflow, like it's an onboarding protocol. They just ask them a bunch of different questions on where they're at, what their business is, what their goals are, what tech stacks. And then it solves all of that and then produces skills and routines for them. And I think that, like if it gets them skills, MCPs, routines, they end up in a really cool spot where they have actually like they don't have to talk to me about like what they should automate. And honestly, that's in of itself something they could offer to clients is just like, hey, here's a workspace that just like audits your business and comes up with stuff. Let me run it for you. Fill out this questionnaire. You take that questionnaire, upload it to that workspace, and then the workspace will do it. And then you sell it as a service. So that's one. And then outbound one is important. So there's kind of like three rattling in the head, which is like outbound department, HQ, and then this AI systems architect skill creator 1. And like I just need to get back to the building stuff. Because like this hand-to-hand combat stuff is just not fun. It's psychologically draining. I mean, like when I first get an email of someone just not satisfied or just confused on expectations more than anything, it puts me in such a reactive state that I just really dislike it. I've done it for years. I've graduated, I believe. Like I've literally had for the other company hundreds, hundreds, if not maybe 1,000 different types of hand-to-hand combat escalation calls, which means I'm good at it, but it's just not fun. It's pretty demanding, and especially when you care, like you're actually the founder of the company, it has such a different weight to it because like I actually want this to work and I want them to have a good experience, and it's kind of like a, a jab in the heart more so when it's like shit, like my thing isn't that good yet, or it's not good enough, or they think it's bad, or something's broken. And when it's someone else's company, like you still feel that because obviously you're part of the team, but it's less of a blow on your ego because like you didn't come up with the product. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, really, it's just protect the closer's bandwidth, give him as much like pretty much just like rails to operate within. Like, hey, here are the rules of the engagement, and then you can operate within those rules. That way he just understands it, because one of the things that was an unlock recently was just watching a Hormozy clip, which is like, he can't have someone sell like he sells because he has frame instantly. Like he automatically has so much more information compared to whoever he's talking to. He's an expert. He's going to take control of that conversation, direct them instantly. Now your 23-year-old closer can't do that because they just don't have that skill yet. I think that's the same thing that's happening here. Is like he can't sell like me because I can look at whatever someone else is doing and then just run it, right? I've been doing it forever. So it has to be a different sale, or it has to be some sort of handoff mechanism where like he qualifies them in some way and they talk to me, but then he's like a setter. So I just don't know. I know there's like enterprise teams that kind of do it that way, where they have like the sales guy who's really good at it, and then they have like the quant for like investments. Like, hey, let the number guy do the numbers, let me do the talking, okay? Because the last thing you want is the number guy doing the talking or me doing the numbers. Ha ha ha. Right. So it's gonna have to be, you know, in my mind, it's just gonna be get as many people on the calendar as possible, and then to just like feel it out and just watch what's happening before I can actually do anything. Because yeah, there's no way he's gonna be able to just diagnose the constraint in some stranger's business like I can, because I have the training of thousands and thousands and thousands of reps of doing that and a decade of doing it. So I think what we should do there is actually just give him like 3 talk tracks, like 3 mistakes to avoid that they can agree on. And then don't make it custom. It's like mistake number 1 is automating someone else's business. Bad. Mistake number 2 is commoditizing yourself by saying you're an automation guy. And mistake number 3 is trying to learn it all before actually going selling. Get them to agree. Awesome. Great. Based on everything you said, I have some advice. Here's our done for you thing. Do you want to hear about it? 2-step sale. Something to sell, someone to sell it to, someone to sell or something to sell, partners, something to sell it to, AI lead gen, bam, guarantee under these conditions you will not fail. Yeah, I think that's the sale. So maybe I'll tell him that. Yeah, because then he has like a lot to work with. I don't want to do these sales calls. Oh gosh. And then last note, because this is like personal diary and I don't know if I'll ever post this, so we'll see. Being back like away from Scottsdale, coming back to the Mountain House, kind of weird for me psychologically, because here was where like the Rocky Cut scene was, where it was like the hometown. Like it was 11 months of winter and 1,000 sales calls and 1,000 strategy calls, and I was working for someone else and I was making nothing, and I was watching courses on YouTube, and it was hard and it was dark and it was lonely, and the dream felt super, super far away, and I just like worked at it. And then going to Scottsdale, you feel like, oh, we're here, we've arrived, like I have this thing going, like it's possible, everybody else is doing this type of stuff. And then you come back here and you're like, oh God, like I don't like the feeling. It feels like I'm not here optionally. It feels like I'm back to where that was. So I think I'm just gonna break the environment a bunch as much as I can and take trips and stuff. And yeah. So something just to think about is like making sure that my brain knows, hey, dude, we're not back in like 2023 or whatever it was. We're okay. We're gonna live. So, all right, we'll catch you guys in the next one. I got to jump and save the world.